T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his action.
We've all seen celebrities caught in scandals, but nothing compares to the darkness surrounding this one. This isn't about a music hit or a Hollywood headline. It's about King Harris fighting for his life, lying motionless in intensive care after what insiders describe as a vicious ambush inside a Georgia prison. The attack was so violent that guards struggled to break it up as the entire block spiraled into chaos. King wasn't just attacked. He was left battered, bleeding, and rushed under heavy guard straight to the prison infirmary. The Harris family, known for clapping back fast whenever drama hits,
trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
Is now reportedly in full-blown crisis mode, scrambling for answers as the rumors spiral faster than they can contain. And let's be clear, this wasn't some heat-of-the-moment fight gone wrong. Insiders are calling it a premeditated strike, the kind of move that feels less like a prison beef and more like a warning shot aimed straight at anyone still thinking celebrity status keeps you safe. This wasn't about flexing strength. It was about shaking the room. And clearly, the plan worked. The second news leaked, the internet detonated with speculation, wild theories, and endless so-called exclusive scoops. One alleged insider swears King had been marked weeks in advance, set up for public embarrassment. Others say tension had been bubbling with inmates fed up with the way he acted, like his last name gave him royal privileges behind bars. Anonymous inmates didn't sugarcoat it either. Some flat-out claim King was warned.
Yeah, so him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, it just, he
told he was too flashy, too loud, and way too soft for a place where survival is earned, not handed down. The whispers painted crystal clear. Inside prison walls, arrogance is a death sentence. And King's bold pride may have been the bullseye that sealed his fate. The threats turned real, deadly real, and the Harris family was instantly thrust into panic. Insiders reveal T.I. hasn't closed his eyes since the assault went down. He's been glued to the phone, burning every lifeline he has. Attorneys, politicians, even old enemies, anyone who could pressure the Georgia Department of Corrections into stepping in before his son doesn't make it out alive. One Atlanta insider even claims the table's already stacked with blank checks, secret deals, and hush-hush NDAs, all aimed at getting King transferred or freed before the clock runs out. Picture the irony here. The man who once branded himself the king of the South, now watching his real king, his own son, crumble under prison politics. And while T.I. scrambles to pull strings, Tiny is said to be in her own war room, rallying publicists and legal advisors like a general leading troops through a crisis. But behind those closed doors, that picture-perfect Harris family unity is starting to crack wide open. Word on the street says T.I. and Tiny's arguments have gotten so explosive that even close friends can't tell if they're fighting to save King, or just ripping each other apart while they're still hanging on for life. And the deeper you dig, the messier it gets. This isn't just about tough talk or bruised egos.
I graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't.
Whispers point to something far more sinister. The prison grapevine is buzzing with claims of a contraband deal gone wrong. Some allege King refused to play along, while others insist he tried to finesse the wrong crew and ended up paying the ultimate price. Sources close to the chaos allege it was all a setup. King lured into a hot zone where at least 3 inmates were waiting to strike. And here's the chilling part. Prison cameras just happened to malfunction at the exact moment fists started flying. The Department of Corrections might be brushing off any claims of a glitch, but one of T.I.'s former road managers didn't hesitate to spell it out. It's Georgia. Cameras break when they need to break. That's all you need to know. That chilling remark says everything without saying much at all. With King's condition still unstable, the Harris family has spiraled into full public meltdown mode. They've closed ranks before, but
Steve Sadal reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadal that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
But never under this kind of pressure. And this time, the fractures are spilling out for everyone to see. Fans haven't forgotten the infamous Falcons game blow-up when T.I. snapped on his son in front of thousands and put King in a headlock live on Instagram. The clip exploded online as Tip yelled, "You're embarrassing yourself and your family," while security swarmed and Tiny scrambled to calm the chaos. Back then, most thought that was King's lowest point. But now, looking at the bigger picture, that meltdown feels like just a prologue to a much darker chapter. Inside those prison walls, King wasn't just in a hostile environment. He was trapped in something venomous. Multiple sources say King was taunted nonstop, with inmates mocking everything from his silver spoon upbringing to those lingering human trafficking allegations that have haunted T.I. and Tiny for years. And King didn't exactly help himself, reportedly flexing for clout, mouthing off to rivals, and moving like he was Atlanta's next breakout star.
So the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting is gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this, a lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this.
But hardened inmates weren't buying it. As one ex-con put it bluntly, this ain't no reality show. We don't care who your daddy is. If you don't pay or you run your mouth, you get handled. In prison, that's the iron rule, and King is now the living example of what happens when it's ignored. On the outside, T.I. is said to be burning every single card he's got left. Sources claim he's threatening to drag the prison system publicly for unsafe conditions, while quietly feeding stories to friendly outlets to control the spin before it spirals. The move looks like a classic celebrity strategy, shift the blame off King and onto the system. But the real question is it already too late? That's a thought gripping fans, insiders, and even industry peers as every new update hits. Behind the calls, the press leaks, and the sympathy posts lies an ugly truth. Maybe this is what happens when you raise a son to believe he's untouchable, only for prison life to remind him otherwise. Adding fuel to the fire, whispers from 3 separate industry veterans claim the Harris family's baggage made King a marked man inside. His name has allegedly been tied to the same trafficking scandals that nearly destroyed T.I. and Tiny's reputation years back. Sabrina Peterson, the former friend who blew that story wide open, has already threatened to drop fresh receipts that could allegedly drag King into the mess too. The Fed may have stepped back for now, but in the court of public opinion, the stain never fades. And inmates know exactly how to weaponize that against you. As one scandal cools, another one erupts. Rumors are flying about a botched contraband deal. King's name reportedly scrawled on a ledger, a promise broken, or was, whispers that he snitched. In prison, gossip or not, the punishment is the same. Betray the wrong crew, and you bleed. Combine that with his privileged past, his reality TV persona, and the Harris family's never-ending controversies, and it's no surprise he became the lightning rod for every grudge simmering behind those walls. Meanwhile, the family's battles aren't just public. They are tearing through the home. Friends say T.I. and Tiny's marriage is now a ticking time bomb. Tiny is reportedly pushing for a softer strategy, blaming outside enemies in the system, while T.I. is digging in for war. The clashes are so explosive that some fear saving King might cost them their relationship. T.I. insists only power and high-level connections can protect his son, while Tiny is trying to keep the family from crumbling completely. Insiders aren't holding back, calling this the single worst crisis the Harris Empire has ever faced. This tops everything, one source said. The reality TV cancellation, the lawsuits in L.A., even the Falcons headlock that went viral. This isn't just another headline. It's the kind of blow that could shatter the dynasty they built under the cameras. The fallout has been nuclear. Screaming matches, relatives dragged in, and the entire family trapped in a blast zone of stress and fear. For years, King was branded the reckless heir of the Harris Empire. But now, the story has flipped. His life hanging by a thread, his family's brand unraveling, and everyone left wondering, is redemption possible, or are we witnessing the total collapse of a name once thought untouchable? The noise isn't dying down. It's only getting louder. Because once you cross those gates, celebrity privilege means nothing. Prison runs on a code no money can rewrite, and King Harris is learning that truth the hard way. Behind those walls, the rules are carved in stone and enforced in blood. Respect isn't inherited. It's earned through silence, loyalty, and grit. And a famous face? That's not protection. That's a target. Which raises a haunting question. Was King's own celebrity the very curse that sealed his fate? The Harris dynasty may be scrambling for answers, but insiders say this was never just about King as a person. It's about everything he represents. The second he walked into that Georgia prison, he wasn't just another inmate. He carried the Harris name, the baggage of reality TV, and the reputation of being T.I.'s most reckless son. 4 hardened men doing time. That aura isn't power. It's a lightning rod. Jealousy, resentment, and old scores collide the moment someone like him hits the yard. And off the record, correctional officers admit the ugly truth. High-profile inmates aren't just locked up, they are turned into pawns. One former inmate described how celebrities get used as bargaining chips, tools to flex muscle, settle disputes, or send messages inside and out. Add in whispers of a contraband deal gone sideways, layered on top of years of Harris family scandals, and it's clear King was swimming with shark from day one. But this isn't just fists and beatdowns. It's psychological warfare at its coldest. Every glare, every rumor.
Man, damn. Yeah, that's I ain't see that one coming. You know
Really?
what I mean? Nah, I didn't.
Every joke is a calculated threat. Sources say King's privileged background mocked him before he even stepped into a cell. Inmates despise him instantly, convinced he grew up on private schools, music videos, and superstar lawyers while they clawed for survival. Others mocked him for posturing like a gangster when everyone knew his biggest stage before prison was reality TV. This isn't new. It's part of a brutal cycle we've seen with rappers, athletes, even actors. Fame doesn't shield you. It paints a bullseye. The so-called hazing of celebrity inmates twists every ounce of privilege into ammo for punishment. As one insider put it, if you walk in with a silver spoon, the only thing you're holding is a liability. And that's the cruelest twist of all. For years, King tried to outrun the shadow of his own privilege, flexing online, talking tough, and building a persona of defiance. But those very performances may have sealed his downfall. His desperate attempt to prove he wasn't just a pampered son of a rap mogul only dragged him deeper into a deadly game he was never built to play. King has always pushed back against claims he lived in a bubble, insisting he hustled, struggled, and earned respect on his own. But in the unforgiving world of prison, the narrative he crafted outside may have turned into the weapon that breaks him inside. He proudly declared, "I stand on business." But anyone who truly knows the streets will tell you, credibility isn't earned at family barbecues or passed down like a gold chain. It's carved into skin with scars, silence, and sacrifice. And those who chase it the hardest often pay the steepest price. So now the haunting questions echo louder than ever. Did King's obsession with proving he was real drag him into circles he couldn't control? Or was he simply another cautionary tale, someone desperate to fit into a world that was never built to accept him? The result has been nothing short of tragic, a brutal collision between expectation and reality. Even T.I. has admitted on live that he warned his son, told him, his mother, and his grandmothers, that if King kept it up, prison was inevitable. That wasn't just tough talk, it was prophecy. And now, with King fighting for his life, those old warnings sound less like discipline and more like fate catching up. The very energy T.I. once recognized in himself is the same one dragging his son into the abyss. In the months leading to his incarceration, King spiraled between public meltdowns and moments of raw vulnerability. Friends say he lived every day like he was already on trial, terrified that one slip would destroy the image he built online. That infamous Falcons game, where T.I. snapped and put him in a headlock over the silver spoon insult, hits differently now. Back then it looked like embarrassing family drama. But in hindsight, it feels like a warning flare, proof King's rebellion against his upbringing was spiraling out of control. He branded himself the wild card of the Harris dynasty, flaunting chains, dropping cryptic posts, and mocking critics with defiance. But insiders claim behind the cameras he was restless, furious, and drowning in contradictions. That dual identity didn't just confuse fans, it made him prey. For rivals inside, taking down King Harris wasn't just violence, it was currency. It was clout, headlines, and instant notoriety in one savage move. And when the attack came, It didn't just shake the Harris family. It sent shockwaves through the entire prison system. Correctional officers, legal teams, even rival inmates are weighing in now. Was this random chaos? Or was King the latest pawn in a long-running campaign to exploit celebrity prisoners? His name is already being linked to other high-profile attacks, proof that fame inside prison isn't protection. It's a bullseye. Administrators are now scrambling to move him, not just to keep him breathing, but to stop other inmates from cashing in on his notoriety. Meanwhile, outside those walls, the Harris family's fight is spilling into the open. T.I. is throwing every card he has on the table: political calls, legal maneuvers, secret deals, all in a desperate bid for an early release. Because at this point, it's not just about saving King Harris. It's about saving the dynasty itself from collapsing under the weight of its own legacy. While Tiny scrambles to keep the Harris brand from collapsing, the pressure cooker has never been this explosive. Every word, every move, every post is now dissected by millions of eyes, waiting for the next crack to widen. Supporters flood timelines with prayers, while critics laugh at the irony, a kid born with every privilege now bleeding for a street image that was never his to claim. It's the type of cultural parable that blurs victimhood and recklessness until you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. And that's the haunting question. Was King crushed under the impossible weight of his last name, or did he sprint headfirst into the storm believing fame was a bulletproof vest? For T.I. and Tiny, the answer may not even matter anymore. The fallout is already ripping their family apart. Lawyers are burning the midnight oil, gagging leaks, and crafting spin, while insiders bicker over strategy. Half the camp wants silence to keep King alive inside. The other half says silence is surrender, and if they don't fight louder, he won't survive long enough for redemption. Meanwhile, the rest of the Harris kids are dragged into the circus, forced to endure rumors, conspiracy theories, and ancient family drama being dug back up for clout. Every leak, from prison guard to fake family friends, throws more gasoline on the fire. And as the smoke thickens, one brutal truth is undeniable. The justice system doesn't care about fame, bloodlines, or celebrity. Inside, respect isn't inherited. It's taken. It's owned in scars. And right now, King Harris has become the ultimate trophy target. What began as whispers of a petty beef has morphed into a survival war, one that threatens not just King's life, but the Harris dynasty itself. T.I. is cashing in every favor he has left, battling a system that has swallowed countless men whole. But this ambush may have already triggered something bigger: secrets, betrayals, rivalries that no PR statement can bury. Once the blood hits the floor, there's no rewinding the clock. So we're left staring at the unknown. Is this the painful start of King Harris's redemption arc, or the opening act of a much darker downfall? Could this prison assault rip through the family so violently that it destroys everything they've built in public? One thing is certain: the Harris name will never look the same again. Drop your thoughts below. Was King just another casualty of fame, or is something much deeper moving behind the scenes? Subscribe, because the next twist is always closer than you think.